start getting through these, and then I'll start playing games when I finish this long list of videos to review. Got a few special ones thrown in there that I realised I hadn't reacted to. But almost half the videos to review come from this fella, occultusnotitia. This one is OcNo. It's a party. OcNo being a short term for occultusnotitia. And this is going to be one of his more jokey ones, because he's got his grilled salmon character, which I believe is his equivalent of Creamy Manjaro. His meme character, you might say. It's a short one, this one, only about 2 minutes long. So let's see how the editing is on this.
Nah, man, it'll be fun. You just have to trust me. It's a party. There's lots of fun to do. Outside, inside, around the pool. Look who showed up. Fried shrimp in his whip, loaded fries, no lies, ice cream, living the dream. It's a party. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house party. Yeah. Bro, don't panic, but your ex-girlfriend just showed up. Woo! It's a party. Your ex is here. No need to fear. Just be alert and don't you flirt. Hot dog, did you wrong? You knew all along. Don't get back with her. She said a racial slur. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house party. Yeah. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house party, yeah. Where'd he go? I said don't get back with her grilled salmon, bro. Whatever.
Okay, so that was It's a Party. It was a nice little fun comedy skit song. Pretty much what I was expecting from the length of it and the starting image. Editing wise, it's a lot looser than what he normally does.
It'll be fun. You just have to trust me.
But this is all about the jokes, word plays on the character names and so on. Cut. Yep.
There's lots of fun to do. Outside, inside, around the pool. Look who showed
Cut.
up. Fried shrimp in his
A little bit off there, but
ice cream, living the dream.
So yeah, these characters basically like mockery of like rapper names. So ice cream instead of iced tea, or that sort of thing. So ice cream soda rather than being an ice cream. Yeah.
It's a party. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out.
And that's the whole thing of the DVD thing hitting a corner, which recently popped up again in the news actually, because it was like a big jumbotron thing at some stadium where half the audience was puzzled as the other half was cheering because some logo that was bouncing around on one of the big screens hit a corner.
Out of all the noise, can't help but escape at the house party. Yeah. Bro, don't panic, but your ex-girlfriend just showed up. Woo!
There's so many layers to what this joke is here. Yeah, by giving the ex-girlfriend a dog head. There's a certain term for female dogs. Yeah.
Party, your ex is here. No need to fear. Just be alert and don't you flirt. Hot dog, did you wrong? You knew all along. Don't get back with her. She said, alright.
Now this just looks like uncoloured Iron Man, but it could be Ben.
Racial slur. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up. with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house. All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house party, yeah.
So I know kind of what happened. Either a bad generate's a layer over, creating this double effect here.
All your friends in one spot at the party. It's a big ol' bop bop at the party. Living it up with your boys, getting out of all the noise. Can't help but escape at the house party, yeah. Where'd he go? I said don't get back with her grilled salmon, bro. Whatever.
Yeah, short, simple, fun little video. Song is a nice little pleasant one to kind of listen to. It's just a nice little bop. Yeah, you got to either make sure he has a Triforce symbol on his chest, or tone down the sheen on the metallic aspects to try and make it look a bit more Benish, I think. Me, I use reference images, so it usually stays pretty solid. All right. Here we have another one of OccultusnoTitia's songs. One of the 5 songs he dropped over the last 2 days. This one's slightly longer than the last one. Let's see how this one goes. This one is called 70 times 7 or 70x7.
Leave the knife in my back as a telltale reminder. I was told to forgive you for both our sakes. The knife in my back is just a keepsake. Not man enough to come say it to my face. I looked up to you when I was in a dark place. 70 times 7, that was the command. Limitless forgiveness, not the strike of a hand. When you wake up one day, confused to where you are, just know you did this to yourself, and we'll all be gone. The restraint I must keep is enacted itself. I was told to put you first and must die
Okay. A good sort of metal screamer. I'd say light metal, to be fair. I've said it to him before, and I'll say it again. He needs to not rely on the auto-generated subtitles, especially if you've got a screamer song like this. While I got most of the lyrics, some of them do get a bit lost. It doesn't take much to just paste in your own lyrics and then adjust the timings. I do it a lot for my videos. Try to make sure that what I actually want to be conveyed is conveyed. Fantastic imagery. Tempoing is very slow, but it's also on beat. Oh, it's a little bit like there. It does that. Okay, so he saved it for that. Fair enough. Trojan horse, viper in the grass.
I was told to forgive you for both our sakes. The knife in my back is just a keepsake. Not man enough to convey it to my face.
Shattered mirror.
It's up to you when I was in a dark place. 70 times 7, that was the command. Limitless forgiveness, not the strike of a hand.
Sheep's clothing. Cool. Thank you for coming to visit. Throne of Lies. I'm guessing from the context of it. I'm not sure it should have blacked out and gone back to where it was. Not sure what it should have done there. Back, and then it cuts out again. What might have been good actually is done it before in other things is to do a negative. It's like you go, for that, for when it returns, put it for a negative would have been a nice visual distortion. So that is most definitely not what's said here. That the lies destroying each other. My interpretation of this. Throne of Lies collapsing under its own weight. I might have tried to do the white fade during that drum build up. But the crown of thorns representing taking on the sins of everything around you without fighting back. This is the. I'm not an active Christian. I'm an atheist, but I'm not an anti-theist. If you know the difference. I don't deny the possibility of God. I just don't believe that God exists in any way that we would understand. Simple as. There's good morals in the Bible and in most religious texts. There's also some bad sides to it. Christianity does preach forgiveness and tolerance, but it doesn't say that you should just accept everything bad that happens. No, agnostic is you do not know. Everyone is agnostic. If you're Gnostic, it means you are certain. If you're certain about the existence of God, that's called being crazy. If you know for certain and you have proof that God exists, to your mind, there is something wrong with you. Everyone is agnostic. Atheist is the lack of belief. I do not have a belief in God. Anti-theist is the belief that there is no God. Yes, I mean, that's why agnostic is I do not know. It is not I know God exists. It's not I know God doesn't exist. Agnostic is I do not have knowledge. That's why it's the most useless term in this discussion, agnostic. Because if you know for certain one way or the other, it's theist just means to have belief. Atheist means to not have belief. Anti-theist means you are against people having beliefs. In fact, one of the prerequisites to have belief is to not have knowledge. Because if you have knowledge, you know, and therefore you can't believe. Because you know. Oh, yeah. But you also shouldn't believe purely because it's what you were raised to believe. My opinion is you should look at the world and see how it would like to be. I don't want to get into the discussion of the religion stuff here. I don't see how. Yeah. Anyway, topic. Yeah, and that's the point. Is I'm happy for people to have their own beliefs. It's when people start shouting at me because I don't follow their beliefs that I get annoyed. And to be honest, Christians aren't doing that so much nowadays. It's a different group of religion that's doing that. But to be fair, a lot of atheists, I'm doing the bunny ears, are being that as well, shouting at people for having beliefs. That's the anti-theist group. The people who have the belief that you should not believe because it's negative. For a while, I was actually in that camp of believing that belief in general was bad for humanity because I'd seen all the worst sides of religious pressure. But I've seen what happens when certain people do not have belief to fall back on. Hey, Mimi. Yeah. Yeah, so the way Christianity actually says it is that just because you you are forgiving and you accept the slings and arrows, it doesn't mean that you have to constantly under attack not defend yourself. You can't force faith on others. That's the way I see it. Faith is very much about the person. But yeah, it's very clear imagery. The idea of being betrayed by someone you trust and accepting it and trying to forgive them and give them more chances, but they still keep betraying you. There is a point where you just do not. On Kick, that's very rare. Kick's one of the least moderated ones there are. But yeah, go give the original some love. I can see where he did rush this one out a little bit because it's very, like the others, it's much more simplified than some of his better work. Oh yeah, it came through on the general chat. I didn't see it get modded out on mine. Yeah. Cool. This one didn't reset. All good. All right. Now here we have the next entry from Occultusnotitia. Number 4 of 5 out of the ones he released this weekend. First one I reviewed yesterday. The other two were earlier on. Here we have Tear It Away. Let's see what he did for this one. He seemed to be focusing on different things for each video, so I'm wondering if he was like testing things out.
Tear it away. That's just fine with me. I don't want it. Anyway, it's given. Just give me the good parts, or clip out the best. Don't show me what is under the murky, darkened depths. But I won't grow without the bad entanglements, the day-to-day design of thinking I know best. But I begin to realize I need to just let go. I need to understand. Some people don't even know. Some people don't even know. What happened to discipline? It's not that far away. You have to decide to go and give it a try one day. And don't give up that feeling. In terms of desperation, you need to keep on pushing and not drop the without the bad entanglements, the day-to-day design of thinking I know best. But I begin to realize I need to just let go. I need to understand. Some people don't even know. Some people don't even know.
That was a pleasant song. A little bit on the techno side for my taste. Not to the level where I dislike it, just not my particular taste in music. Okay. Female character is just female character. I was wondering if it might be Nicola.
Tear it away. That just fine with me. I don't want it anyway.
It seems to have gone for the long clips again, rather than like on the beat edits. But for this, it's all fitting because it's a slow story song.
Just let go, I need to understand. Some people don't even know. Some people don't even know.
He's learned to let the pulsing stop every now and again, because on some of the earlier ones, he kept the pulsing going and it really distracted the eyes. He needs to let the eyes rest every now and again. Alright, Julie Lacroix, Night Owl, Ofted, let's not call in Joe, Chito Gobby, it's not Dawn Halo, is it? Could be. I'm not sure the scene changes are on the right beats, but it still flows nicely. Pulse, 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 pulse. Yeah, I'd have done one more pulse before cutting here. Maybe even a pulse on the change. Oh, that's Dawn Halo. So was that Call Enjo then? Because I thought Call Enjo was a samurai looking one. I might be mistaking that one. Pufferfish, Happy Harbor, Morphe, and of course Lady Wasabi. Also known as Louis Verse. So that must be Call Enjo before then. Is the samurai someone else then? I might be getting them mixed up. Oh well.
I need to understand. Some people don't even know.
Cut on the long note, it's good. This one's off beat. It's the ending, so it's probably meant to like represent the last flutters of. Oh yes, very pretty animation style, very clean. It's also a very basic story in terms of the animation going through, which allows him to get so many done in one go, I think. But also, just because it's a simple story doesn't mean it's not going to be a pain to get some of these animation effects out. Getting this to happen, especially with the lighting effects around it, would be an absolute hell sometimes. I'm thinking from the way it's all the way across, the distortion is an after effect animation put on in the editing studio, which means that this is probably the cleanest. It's how it was actually in the animation. Oh, tell me about it. That is in reverse because it kept on driving the car backwards. I wanted the car to drive into the scene and then pull out to show the restaurant. Instead, it kept on starting the car there and reversing it down the road. It's like, what? A couple of times, I literally like, all right, I want you to be on the main road. I want you to reverse down that way, and then I play it backwards so you can like see, follow the car, reverse. That way. It kept on spinning the car around on the spot, just doing crazy things with it just to get what it wanted. But yeah, lovely little song here from his tear of songs he's put out. All right. And here we come to number 5 of the OcNo videos released so far this weekend. There might be more while I've been doing this. Occultusnotitia, Synthetic Friends. Let's make sure I've got everything set up right. Let's see what he's done for this one.
How you can feel so alone,
Astrobot?
but then you're blessed with friends in a synthetic world. All types of different walks of life, collected as a group for one unique purpose. Synthetic friends in an oasis, real life in an escapism way. But when the world rotates and we start to all locate into an online chat, that's where we'll be. Once again, we all make different content, yet we support each other in a positive way. And as we all are growing, we all start showing the best encouragement you can't pay for. Synthetic friends in an oasis, real life in an escapism way. But when the world rotates and we start to all locate into an online chat, that's where we'll be.
Okay. That was Synthetic Friends by occultusnotitia. No cameos in this one. Even the closest thing to himself in this is the robot, I think. A nice long panoramic view. Who would do such a thing with just a waste of time, just have thrown you through the sky? Probably a valid way of doing it. This all represents being afloat on your own little raft in the sea of the information of the internet.
Oh, you can feel so alone, but then you're blessed with friends in a synthetic world. All types of different walks of life, collected as a group for one unique purpose. Synthetic friends in an oasis, real life in
And that's why I say you should write your own lyrics into those captions rather than relying on the auto.
when the world rotates and we start to all locate into an online chat.
Now, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, has he got to throw a seal in here, is he? No, it's an otter. To be fair, a lot of the seals end up looking like otters in the videos.
Once again, we all make different content, yet we support each other in a positive way.
Yeah, again, it's a beautiful concept video with reasonably good cuts, but long scenes, making most of his clean generations he's received. Bit of ratio change, which tells me some of them he's edited down or cut bits out that he didn't really want. But it's barely noticeable because a lot of the focus is right here in the middle. There's nothing pulling you to one side or the other to get you the attention of the bars when they appear.
That's where we'll be.
Yeah, the island gives implication, doesn't just throw people in your face. It's very nice, very clean. The song's quite nice along with it. Well, I have to have my own tongue there. Okay. That